The Seahawks got their monstrous Super Bowl rings yesterday. Just about. I wonder how long it's going to take.
I think it's actually bigger.
Seriously, how long is it going to take before a team beats the size of that thing, too? Every year they get a little bigger, a little more expensive. Let's bring in former Seahawk Dave Wyman. And, Dave, you look at this ring that the Mariners or the Seahawks put out there. That is a thing of beauty, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. It's incredible. And just, being able to be a part of it and having been here since 1987 and just seeing some of the people there. I'm kind of avoiding talking about the ring, I guess. I'm kind of old school where I'm like, I didn't really make a tackle or bust a grape, really. But I'm so appreciative that, I feel like I'm part of the team. And, and then just, seeing people like Dave Pearson and Julie Barber, Eric Kennedy, these guys go back to when I was, playing. Eric Kennedy, who's the head equipment manager, as you look at AJ Barner. Now, AJ can pull that off. He can wear that anywhere he goes, but I doubt I'll be doing that. But yeah, Eric Kennedy was a ball boy when I first got to the Seahawks. So lots of people like that. Ed Goins, I'm going to miss a ton of people. Cindy Kelly. It was just so cool to see all of those people come together and just this joyous event. It was really fun. And as cool as the ring is and everything, I just think the thing that really struck me was all the good people that work for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think it's great that they do give them more than just the players and the coaches. I tell you a little bit about it. I wanted to show that video a little bit if you could. I just want to tell you a little bit about what's included in these rings. 50 brilliant round white diamonds set around the center logo to honor the team's 50th season. One side of the ring features each player's last name, number, and the team's mantra, MOB, mission over BS. The other side includes the team's vision, 12 as one, alongside the Seattle skyline, year and Super Bowl 60 logo. The bottom of the ring featured 12 feathers, a tribute to the team's iconic fan base, the 12. So, and look at that. You can even wear it as a necklace, Ariel. Is that a cool thing?
I think so, honestly, because I feel like that's the only way you can wear it, right? It's like a dinner plate.
Yeah. But I'm glad you brought that up, Dave, because there are so many people that in the organization that deserve that. And I know you as a broadcaster might feel a little sheepish about the fact that you have a ring, but these rings are awfully cool. And as Mike McDonald said really right at the start of OTAs, this could be, even though they don't want it to be, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that you're Super Bowl champions and you have this tremendous chunk of hardware that you can have to remind yourselves of just the accomplishment.
Yeah, it's like the size of a snowball. It's just crazy. So, it really is. I got a chance to talk to Mike McDonald last night a little bit and just visit with him. And then, John Schneider, him coming in here in 2010, you see the two Super Bowl trophies on the ring there. And he's just done such a great job, and he fits so well with Mike McDonald. And it was really, tough moving on from Pete, because Pete Carroll brought you that first Super Bowl, and now you go to a guy like Mike McDonald, who's just incredible. He's very young. He could be here for another 25 years. So it's really cool being around this team. They just have such a good vibe, and everybody's humble, and they're ready to go to work and do it again.
Yeah, you talk about Mike McDonald and the vibe that he brings. It's clear that there is a very clear identity with this team, and even Leonard Williams talked about that yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked to Derek Hall the other day, to your point, Ariel, and he took less money. Boye Mafe got $20 million a year, and Derek Hall got 14, and Derek Hall's the better player. And when we talked to him, and he's like, I just like it here. And, and he never said, hey, 14 million's enough. I don't need to go out and, look around. But that's kind of the vibe that you got from him, that he wants to be part of this organization, and he loves everything here, and it's just a great place to be. And the day that we interviewed him, they were out practicing out on the field, and it was a beautiful sunny day, and the Eagles are flying around. The players mentioned the Eagles a lot, by the way. the Eagles that are up in the trees and everything. It's just a beautiful place. The franchise is run, high end, everything, the food, the meeting rooms, all the technology they have, everything. It's just a place where, players want to be, and they're willing to take, less money. I think, if Sam Darnold was on another team, he could probably force the issue on, hey, you need to rip up that contract and pay me $55 million. But, Sam knows that he's in a place where you got a defense that keeps you in games, even if you throw 4 interceptions. You got a run game to help you out, and it might actually extend his career. So, yeah, it's that's the vibe that the Seahawks have going right now, and they're not done, man. I think they're, I think we're going to see at least another couple of Super Bowl appearances very soon.
Yeah, that championship window is wide open for this Seahawks team, and you bring up Leonard Williams, the big cat. He's been around this game a long time. He's 31 years old, to be 32 next week. So he still has plenty of tread on the tire, plenty of energy, and he knows exactly what it takes to get back. Here's Leonard on the mentality.
To me, I really just see our culture elevate to another level. I feel like last year, we started putting the mix together and like all the ingredients and all that type of stuff. And this year, you really see it like boiling and becoming more just of a foundation. And to me, the culture is the biggest thing that we need here. Guys are going to come and go, like I said, and I feel like if we have a culture and a foundation like that, we'll always be a winning team.
Dave, you and I have always talked about and you like to talk about John Schneider. I know you guys have become close over the years, and he's, Leonard Williams was one of those midseason trades when they brought him to Seattle, and John has had tremendous success with his midseason trades. Yeah,
Quandre Diggs was there last night as well, and he was a midseason trade, that came over from the Lions. Yeah, I mean, he's done a really good job, and really, maybe the biggest move was Dodson and Baker, and and I attribute a lot of that not just to John, but also to Mike Macdonald. That Mike Macdonald was like, hey, this is my defense. It's not working out. And they traded one linebacker and cut the other one, and then brought in Ernest Jones and started playing Tyrese Knight and Drake Thomas. So, yeah, that was another big, mid-season move where the Seahawks aren't going to sit around and sit on their hands. They're gonna make moves, and that's John Schneider's aggressiveness coming through there.
So moving forward a little bit, we just found out that there will be, in fact, one joint practice with the Titans in the week leading up to their preseason game in Nashville. Can these joint practices be productive, especially with just one practice?
Yeah, I think, Ariel, they're more productive than the preseason games themselves, because you get coaches together and you can work on certain things. Like there's a lot of times after a preseason game you didn't get a chance maybe to kick a field goal or play your goal line defense or fourth down attempts and things like that. The game kind of just takes off and goes its own direction, and then you just kind of go through and try to learn. Whereas you get in these joint practices and they're pretty, they get pretty spirited. We saw almost a fight break out with the Green Bay Packers last year. But yeah, my point is that I think the coaches like it because they can work on certain things, certain situations that are going to play out during the season. And a lot of times you don't get to those things if it's a preseason game. The game just kind of takes off and goes its own way. So, yeah, I think they're very productive. And I think, obviously they like it, and Mike Macdonald likes it because they've done it, 2 previous times.
It's interesting when these guys get together in the years past in joint practices across the league. There's always fights, Dave. I mean, the fights have maybe lessened in recent years because the players are a little smarter, but
yeah. And guys, we're going to be able to see it on Hard Knocks this year. So let's think about that. That the fights are going to probably be increased a little bit, like maybe a little bit more dramatic.
But to that point, though, I mean, do you think that the players have gotten smarter over the years and that they're getting more out of these joint practices than, say, back in the day when the Raiders and Cowboys used to have practices in California and beat each other up for a few days?
Yeah, well, I think guys have figured out that if you punch a hard plastic helmet and face mask, it's going to hurt your hand. But Julian Love put it, so perfectly, because a lot of people will say, oh, that's the dumbest thing ever, to get in a fight in football and you're not going to hurt anybody and you're going to just break your hand, this and that. But what Julian said, and I can totally relate to this, is when you see red, you can't stop. I mean, it's that just it gets you, and you'll do irrational things like punch a hard plastic helmet. So that's just the nature of football. And, look, I remember there was a guy named Grant Fiesel who passed away, unfortunately, but he was a guy that I used to fight with almost every day during double days. And then afterwards, we'd beat the heck out of each other. And then afterwards we were friends, go have a beer together. So, yeah, it's just kind of the nature of football. So I think, you're always going to get that, You're always going to have that.
Well, McDonald, when they practiced, they had a joint practice with the Titans in the past, we talked about, and the fact that he went into those practices and he told his players, if you fight, you will play in the game. Because these guys, the veterans, don't want to play in these preseason games. But if you fight, he's going to make them play, which I thought was a great tactic.
Yeah, I think they put Big Cat in there last year in Green Bay because he was out there fighting. So I love that. It's kind of interesting for the veterans that are kind of like, I don't really want to play in this meaningless game. So yeah, that's part of the creativity of Mike McDonald. He just does things differently, and then at first it sounds kind of like, let me think about that for a second, and then, you realize, hey, that's a good policy.
And I mean, on that same note as the veterans, I feel like these joint practices are for the veteran players, the players that will actually be playing on Sunday, whereas the preseason games themselves are more of like an evaluation. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much always evaluating, and so, you can get certain things and a certain vibe out of some of those, joint practices that you can. The same thing as far as the preseason games go. But yeah, I mean, I just think there's just a standard there that they, no matter what, they're going to go full speed and they're going to try to win every single play. And that's just kind of the mentality and really the messaging that Mike McDonald has. He has all these, interesting little 12 is one. And then, he had, he has some other slogan like run it forward, I think is the one instead of run it back. And yeah, he just has all these little things that really make a difference. I mean, it's not like anybody's making fun of him for making up some of these things, but he's, and I think he can relate to the players really well. And so, I mean, there's guys that are close to his age that are playing on this team. So yeah, I think he's really good at that.
Paul loves chasing edges. Like he is in here.
Wins.
He's in here stacking wins and chasing edges every day of the week. Like it's just he has the posters up in his cubicle. Yeah. Like he knows that
I hit it every time I leave.
Day in, day out, he's like, I'm here, I'm chasing edges, and we're gonna stack wins at King 5.
That's it. Hey Dave, I know that we had the top 5 of Mariner slogans of all time. Before we let you go, you have one, I think. So tell us what you think.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I wish Kruger was still there because every time I go to the Mariner ballpark, I always get identified as Bill Kruger. They're like, hey, Bill Kruger. I don't know if that's a compliment to Bill or not. It's probably not. But yeah, he's one of those guys that I've just loved being around. So it was great to see him. But yeah, I was telling Joel that I remember when there was a year with Scott Service where the run differential was like ridiculously bad. It was like minus 51 or 60 or something like that. And Scott Service said, yeah, but our fun differential is really good. And I thought that was really funny because, people are talking about a stat that, can't really control anyway. And for Service to come out and say that always stuck with me.
Well, Dave, last time I was at the ballpark, Paul got mistaken for Rick Riz. So there's something about you guys just being.
I don't want to go into all the guys I've been mistaken for sure. Thank you for bringing that up, Ariel. I get Tony Ventrella once a month. It's crazy.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. Hey Tony, I'm like, hey, how you doing?
People see you guys at the ballpark and they think baseball.
Exactly.
Yeah.